Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Friday. Hello, my name is Terry, and welcome to my kitchen. It's Friday, y'all. I'm so excited to see the end of this week. I don't know what to do. I told y'all earlier this week that I got back on my grind. I've been in the gym this week, hitting it hard. My body is screaming right now, but I'm here because I'm always here on Friday afternoons, and we're gonna have a good time today. So, again, welcome to my kitchen. I am Terry. For those of you who are new here, I am a personal trainer and a fitness coach. I work with women mostly, but I do have a few men that I work with, getting them well on their way to their health and wellness journeys. And I have been on quite a journey myself. If you're interested in more of that, feel free to visit my website, www.mysexyandstrong.com. All right, now that I have gotten that out the way, I would like to see who's in the chat because we got a few people here. Have some folks early. So I got to recognize those. Miss Peach Love, she was waiting on me to start. She says, hey, for people waiting with me, stay tuned. We got Celeste in the building. Hey. Happy Friday. She's speaking to Miss Peach Love. Leslie Peach Tolliver over there on Facebook telling everybody what's up and hello. Derek Gaines is in the building. Thank you so much, Derek, for joining me here today on Friday. I saw Derek a few times today on Theo's live this morning. Y'all, if you aren't already subscribed to Theo, make sure you subscribe to Theo. He's on the Do Better podcast here on YouTube. It is early in the morning for me. His lives are at like 5:30 my time because I'm here in Phoenix and we're now Pacific Standard Time. It's early, but it be lit in that chat, okay? So make sure you go check out Theo. Let's see. Miss Peach Love saying hello to everybody. Celeste reminded everybody, please make sure you like the video. Derek is ready to cook. Yes, honey, we are going to cook. We are going to have a good time today. All right, my brother, he says, hey, sis, I'm here for a couple minutes. Got to get back to work. So proud of you. Thank you so much for joining. He is here to give me some support. Say hello. Lauren Cole is in the building. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. One of my good college friends and sorors here to visit with me on this Friday. Derek says Theo is a new Batman. Absolutely. And Celeste has dropped the link to my website. Be sure to check it out if you're interested. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started because we got a lot to talk about. And I feel like everybody going to have something to say about this topic. So, all right, today, make sure y'all let me know if you can hear me well. I am using one of my new gadgets that Mr. Craig Lamar purchased, huge supporter of the channel. Make sure you let me know if you can hear me well. Last stream, we were having some problems. It was going in and out. And so I changed how I connected it to my computer. So hopefully this stream will be able to use it just fine. Let me recognize someone else. Tasha McCoy is here. Hey, this is one of my good friends, old business coach. Honey, I could say so much about Tasha. We can go on and on and on. But thank you so much, Tasha, for joining me today. So yeah, good. All right. Miss Peach Love said the sound is good. All right. So today, y'all, we're gonna be talking about toxic motherhood. I had to take a deep sigh because let me take a sip of water on that one. Toxic motherhood. All right. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I have seen a lot of commentary around. I don't know if everybody knows who Escape and SWV are because we all around the same age or a little bit older. So yes, everyone knows who Escape and SWV are. Huge R&B girl groups from the 90s. And of course, because we are in this nostalgic era where everything in the 90s is like coming back. My daughter dresses like she Aaliyah or somebody from the 90s. Like all the kids love the 90s, right? So 90s music is huge. And one of the things that we're getting back from the 90s is all the great music. Y'all know I love 90s R&B. If I could, I would play it in the background, but YouTube is a hater, so we ain't doing that. So Escape and SWV, they have a show on Bravo. Shout out to Candy and Tiny, more so Candy because she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So they have a show. Basically, the premise of the show is them like coming together and trying to do a tour, right? I don't watch the show. I don't watch the show. I'm kind of over reality TV. But apparently there was some drama between Latasha and Tamika Scott. You know, the two sisters that was in Escape, right? So the one who was kind of big back in the day, she done lost weight. Sis got her waist snatched now. But back in the day, Tasha was the bigger sister. She was one of the lead singers of Escape, the one who had the most powerful voice, singing all the runs and all that. And then we have Tamika. So there was some money stolen. Some people say Tamika stole or Latasha stole Tamika money. Blase, blase. I don't know the whole story, but what I do know is something about the mama that was involved as well. So I'm going to show y'all a clip. Because this is going to kind of start off our discussion, right? So let me go ahead and give them a little fair use banner, because I'm going to go ahead and show this brief clip from the Bravo show. Hopefully YouTube will be nice to me today. They won't try to strike my channel. They won't strike it, but they will have a little copyright claim. Oh well. All right, so I just wanted to show that brief little clip because it kind of gives us a segue into the topic of toxic motherhood. And y'all saw the thumbnail of this video. I see y'all in the chat. Let me pull up the comments so I can see what's going on, because I know y'all got stuff to say. So just to kind of give a synopsis, like I said, they're on a reality show. They're talking about, you know, the money. I guess there was some money from royalties that Escape received back in the day, in the 90s. I think it was later in the 90s. It might have been even after they broke up. There was a big check that came, and Tamika never got her portion of it. And at the time, she was pregnant, right? She was pregnant with her second daughter. She says later on in this clip, actually, and you can watch it if you'd like to. I can put it in the link later. And later in the clip, she said something about she was pregnant. Her older daughter was in college. And then, but the mom was just like, oh, well, she was trying to give excuses for Tamika and Tamika's husband, or Latasha's husband, Rocky, talking about, oh, well, they really need it. And Tamika was like, I was pregnant. If anybody needs money, it's a pregnant person, a pregnant woman. Okay. We all know kids ain't cheap. So also, it's important to note that goes into this topic. If you're familiar with the show, I don't know, my sister might watch it. Miss Peachlow, she might watch the show because I know she'd be watching reality TV sometimes. Apparently, Latasha is the favorite. Tamika gets slighted by mom a lot. And one of the things that we kind of revealed, or was revealed from the show, was that Tamika came along around the same time that the father, or the man, left the mama. And ever since then, the mama associates Tamika with daddy leaving. And so there's a variance in how mama treats Tamika over Latasha. I'm going to let y'all sit on that. We're going to start with our chicken. Let me see. Derek says the name Craig and Friday seems just right. Oh, Lord. Yes, it does. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. Right. Tasha says, you look fab. Glad I can join. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Celeste says, shout out to Craig for your continued support of the channel. Absolutely. Y'all reacted to the video. Lord, Celeste says, Lord. Derek Gaines over here talking about, wow, yes. Celeste, this is an absolute mess. Derek says, family and money just don't mix well. Usually it doesn't. Especially when somebody dies. Lord Jesus, don't let nobody die and leave some money and there's no will. Oh, we got relatives, sisters, brothers, cousins, everybody fighting. All right. Let's see. I don't watch the show. I just watched the blogger's reaction. Absolutely. Actually, the reason why I was even familiar with this, y'all know I love Funky Dineva, and he is the one who the first person I watched that was talking about this. And after that, and I saw a few other people online, and it was on the Shade Room, I was like, oh, I got to watch this. I got to talk about this. All right. Who we got here? Ryan Smith. Hello. Pregnant mamas need that check. Absolutely. And thank you so much, Ryan, for joining. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. And if you have, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. We have Tarina. She says, yet another reason I'm excited to be the only child. Okay, girl. Yes. Celeste says, same. Ryan Smith says, it's Granny Lauren. Oh, okay. Thank you, girl, for joining. All right. So, y'all know we making chicken wings today. So, I'm going to get started with the chicken wings. I got some whole chicken wings here. I'm just going to cut them up really quickly. So, if you buy whole chicken wings and you want to cut them up into little fling wings, little wingdings, like we used to call them back in the day, or drumettes, you know, how the folks call them, all you have to do is cut in between the little, in the joint where the cartilage is. It's very easy. You don't need like a butcher's knife. This is just a really sharp knife. And actually, I sharpened this knife before I came on. I actually sharpen my knives all the time, y'all. I can't tell you enough. Make sure you take care of your kitchen gadgets. That's how they last longer. If you have non-stick pots and pans, make sure you're using wooden or silicone wrapped utensils. That way you don't scratch the non-stick surface. When you have some knives, whether they're high quality or, you know, inexpensive knives, make sure you get you a knife sharpener and cut them up. Don't keep your knives in water for a long time. That can ruin the knives as well. Try not to wash them in the dishwasher. Wash them by hand and then dry them immediately. So yeah, just a few little tips. So I just cut up about 8 chicken wings. So that we'll have 8 whole wings. So we'll have about 16 total. I actually like the tips of chicken wings, but I decided not to be a little hood rat today. But I love eating the little tips part. Okay. So how we're gonna season these. So y'all know by the title, we're gonna be doing air fried Korean barbecue wings. So the seasoning or the sauce is gonna go over the wings. That's where all the sodium is gonna be, right? So for these wings, we are not seasoning them very heavy at all. Honestly, because we're gonna be putting soy sauce and other things in here, I am only going to season them with garlic powder, onion powder. Actually, you know what? I just changed my mind. I'm going to put in a little bit of my green seasoning. Shout out to me for the herb-based seasoning because I want these to have lots of flavor. Good thing about my green seasoning, it does not have any salt. There's no sodium, there's no salt, and there's no fats. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to wash my gloved hands so I can get my green seasoning. All right. Let's get a spoon. So you can season the wings however you like. Doesn't really matter. Oh, Lord. I can't find it. Okay, maybe not. Oh, here we go. All right. All right. So my green seasoning, it's an herb-based seasoning. I have a tutorial here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check it out. It's really easy. The only thing you'll need besides the ingredients to make the green seasoning is some vinegar, and you'll also need a blender or a food processor. Super, super easy to do. And let me tell you, it makes all the difference in the food. All the difference. All right. Let me catch up on these comments because y'all are engaged and I am loving it. Let's see. Derek Gaines says, when my grandmother passed, my uncle took all her money and property. My mom and my other uncle got nothing. See what I say? When people die, things get real. Celeste, great tips. Yes, y'all know I'm always here for the good tips now. You know that's my pet peeve for pots and pans. Yes, make sure you always use wooden and silicone wrapped utensils in your nonstick. Speaking of nonstick, I got a new pot, y'all. I got to show you. Y'all remember Real Bravado Network? He been cashing a girl out. He been showing so much love and support. And I've been buying little new kitchen gadgets here and there. So I'm about to show y'all in a minute the pot we're going to use to make our sauce. Derek Gaines says, do you have a stone to sharpen your knives? Actually, I'll show y'all what I use. I actually have 2 knife sharpeners. They're little small knife sharpeners I actually got from my mom or grandmother, one of them. They always buying stuff for me. And this is the little sharpener. I'll give y'all a little demonstration here, you know, because we learning today. So this one, actually has like a suction cup at the bottom. So I'll go ahead, click it down. so that you see it doesn't move. We're going to use our big cleaver to sharpen, and I just pull it down. I kind of angled it a little bit so we can make sure it's getting on both sides, and then it's sharpened. Don't take much, but you can use a stone. They even have those long metal pole things that you can kind of run your knives on that way. There's so many different ways that you can sharpen knives, but they have knife sharpeners in the store for those of you that aren't sure about using stones or other manual ways to sharpen your knife. So hope that helped. Hope that answered your question. Let's see who else we got up in here. The Deuce is in the building. Lou Harris, yes, childhood friend for back in the day in East Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining me. My cousin Camille Carter is in the building. Okay, let me find out the family is here to support. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Celeste has dropped the link to my green seasoning tutorial. So I'm just going to go ahead and, one more thing, y'all. I'm also going to put in some paprika on these chicken wings. Y'all see I got on gloves. I like to use gloves when handling raw meat as much as possible. So I've been trying to keep my gloves on deck, keep them right here in the drawer with my foil and saran wrap. All right, so back to these toxic mamas, child. All right, so yes, we saw the clip. For those of you that are just joining, we just watched a clip from the SWV and Escape show that's on Bravo. There was a small little clip that showed an incident between Tamika Scott and Latasha Scott and their mom. Tamika accused Latasha for stealing money from her when they got their royalty check, and the mama was accused of basically knowing about it and covering up and act like it never happened. So there's that. All right. Let's get back to our outline here. All right. So after watching the clip and after seeing all this commentary about these Scott sisters, I started thinking about like motherhood and like thinking we got to have a conversation about like the real deals of motherhood. Somebody trying to call me. Not right now. I'm on live. Thank you. So I know we've all heard the term toxic mom, right? In real life, it doesn't get talked about quite often at all. You know, we have, especially in our community, in the Black community, we have a huge, heavy emphasis on, you know, deadbeat dads or, you know, absentee fathers and things of that nature. But we never really talk much about like motherhood and toxic moms to begin with. A lot of people talk about, you know, mama did the best she could. And a lot of times mama did do the best she could. But there are some times where mama didn't do the best she could. She knew better and chose to not do better. And as a former social worker, y'all know I used to work in CPS. I was an investigator for the state of Arizona as well as the state of Oklahoma for several years, investigating child abuse and neglect. So I am all too familiar of what toxic moms look like. All too familiar. Uh-oh. All right. So, and to be clear, because y'all know I'm not one of those people who likes to badmouth folks, like to talk mess about people. This is not a dig at any particular race, ethnicity, or any type of mom. I have been a social worker. I have been inside of people's homes at their most vulnerable and intimate moments. I can tell you, toxic mamas look like me. Toxic mamas look like Karen. Toxic mamas look like Jenny Chow. Toxic mamas look like everybody, okay? They can be married, they could be single, they could be divorced, they could be widowed. Toxic moms transcend the world. They're all over the place. So trust me, it ain't just us, like folks be trying to make it seem. So before we can really start to dig deep on this toxic mom situation, what is a toxic mama? I want y'all to put in the chat, what's your definition of a toxic mom? While y'all doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put my wings into the air fryer. We are using an air fryer today to make our wings. And I need to spray the wings with something. Or I need to spray this, and I don't want to get this oil on my cutting board. So first, I'm going to spray my air fryer basket with some, this is just some non-stick coconut spray. We are making, wait a minute. Okay, so Sheila says, and welcome to the chat, Sheila. She says, what are we making today? We are having Korean barbecue air fried wings, sis. All right. So I'm just going to add in our wings. Make sure when you're putting your wings in the air fryer, it's a single layer. You don't want to have wings on top of each other. Depending on how big your wings or your air fryer is, that will determine how packed you got to put it in the air fryer. I actually don't make a lot of space in between because they get pretty done enough. I just realized I forgot something, y'all. I forgot something. See what happens? All right, I'm putting these back in here because there is one very important part that I almost forgot. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got to add some baking powder to these wings because it'll help kind of get a little coating on the wings so that the sauce can stick better. So I have some baking powder up here. I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of baking powder to the wings just to coat them. Because we're not frying them, we got to put something on them to kind of help with that coating as if they were fried. So if you've ever had traditional Korean wings, Korean fried chicken, you know they're very crunchy, very crunchy. The Koreans, they learned how to make fried chicken from the black soldiers. So shout out to the black soldiers in the Korean War. They taught the Koreans how to make fried chicken. And I ain't gonna lie, the Koreans learned and they went ahead and executed it very, very well. So I'm just going to lightly coat the wings with baking powder, and then I'll start putting them back in the air fryer. All right. So I done lost my train of thought. Let's see. What y'all saying toxic moms are? There's some people answering in the chat. Once I get these in here in the air fryer, I will go ahead and pull up your comments. I am loving the engagement. So thank you very much, y'all, for keeping the chat engaged, answering my questions. Again, make sure when you're adding your wings to the air fryer, it's just a single layer. I have about 16 wings. All of them may or may not come up in here. I'm going to show y'all in a minute what my air fryer basket looks like. My air fryer is not that big, but hey, we're going to do what it do. Okay. I got one more. Let me try to squeeze it in here. All right. All right. Kind of rub the rest of the seasoning on here because we didn't add any salt directly on the wings. You can if you want to. I'm going to be honest. I try to be very careful with the amount of sodium that I'm eating. So I try not to add too much salt. All right. So here's the wings. Y'all see them there. I'm going to go ahead and add them to the air fryer here. This air fryer is on about 350, 365. And I'm going to put it on here for about 20 minutes. We're going to start with 20 minutes and then go from there. All right. Let's see. All right. Miss Peach Love said, oh, wait. Miss Peach Love says toxic motherhood doesn't discriminate. Absolutely no. It absolutely not. It does not. Mama Joyce is a toxic mama. Yes. Just by the way, I'm going to say Lauren, we know that this is Lauren, not Ryan Smith, but you know. Yes. Oh my goodness. The barbecue wings. I love a spacious kitchen. So comfy. Thank you. Toxic mom is hateful, plays favorites between her children and grandchildren, always talks bad about the father and mistreats you because you look like him. Yep, it's me. Hey, Craig Lamar is in the building, and make sure y'all say hello to Craig in the chat because he is a huge supporter of the channel. And we love Craig over here. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? What a toxic mama is? Let me know. Let me know. All right. Shout out to Smoke and Talk. They say, what's up, y'all? Baltimore is in the building. Y'all make sure y'all check out Smoke and Talk. They have a podcast here on YouTube. I love their podcast. They're actually going live today. I believe it is 7 p.m. Eastern time. So check them out. If y'all can, please drop their link in the chat. Doesn't salt make the skin crispy? So, not sure if you joined us on time, Craig, but I actually added baking powder to the rings to help with a little, coating to them. All right. Mona D is in the house. Thank you so much, Mona, for joining. Mona is also a content creator here on YouTube. She just finished going live earlier today. Mona's a wife and a mom. She talks a lot about wifehood and motherhood on her channel. So please make sure you check her out. Mona also has a channel with her kids as well. All right, so I'm gonna go over the actual definition of a toxic mama, right? Toxic mom, a toxic mother is a mom who creates a negative home environment where unhealthy interactions and relationships damage the child's sense of self and their views and relationships with others. That's the definition I was able to find on toxic motherhood. So let's get started making this sauce. So the first thing we're going to do, y'all, is cut up some garlic. We're going to cut up some garlic. Remember, our chicken wings does not have a lot of seasoning on them. So we got to make sure this sauce is very well seasoned. We get another knife. Get a knife. Thought I had 2 knives out. Guess I didn't. I like to prepare for y'all, but sometimes I mess up too. So I am actually cutting up. I'm going to mince up a whole lot of garlic because I want to have a nice coating of garlic on top of the wings or in the sauce. I want us to be able to see the garlic. So I'm just going to mince up some garlic. So some of the behaviors, so that we can kind of identify what a toxic mama is. We're going to go into that in a little bit more detail. But some behaviors that a toxic mom would exhibit is like physical and verbal abuse, using love as a weapon, withholding it without affection, giving the silent treatment to their kids, showing clear favoritism, like Tamika and Latasha's mama, to some child that doesn't meet their approval for any reason. And one of the things I will say, because Derek kind of brought this up too, when I worked in social services, I saw this a lot with moms. And it wasn't just like straight up single moms. It could even be widowed or not widowed, but married or divorced moms. If they have a kid that kind of like look a whole lot like the daddy, or the kid came along and then the daddy decided to go away for whatever reason, child, that mama is so rude and hateful to that child. It is not even funny. I have seen, y'all, there was a case that we had. It was closer towards the end of my time as a child protective service worker in Oklahoma. And this child, it was like 5 kids in the house, but one particular child, they neglected and abused this child so much. Like she was about 5 or 6, maybe even about 7 or 8, but she looked like she was about 4. They had her living in a closet, y'all, living in a closet. It was ridiculous. And come to find out, I believe this was another situation where this child was from a previous relationship and she looked just like the daddy. So they hated her. It was weird. It was very weird. Another behavior you'll see from toxic moms is, emotional manipulation, humiliation, harsh criticism. I will say about the harsh criticism, this is something I see a lot from moms with their daughters. And admittedly, I have to check myself with my daughter when I see like my negative traits in my daughter. Like I get mad sometimes. And I'm like, girl, she just a chip off the old block. You can't get mad. You can't fight her because she just like you. So yes, be very mindful of that. And showing lack of respect. And then also, so y'all see all this garlic we got, y'all. Y'all already know this sauce about to be so good. It's about to be so good. Also, from toxic moms in terms of like the type of environments they create. Abrasive interactions, no boundaries, no respect for the child's privacy and personal space. Let me add a caveat to this, because I know as Black folks, especially when you growing up, most of us are probably Gen Z, or I'm sorry, not Gen Z, millennials and Gen X. So we in our 30s and 40s, probably around here, we might have some young 30s, maybe an early 20 person done kind of scooped in the chat. So like we all probably grew up in a household where it's just like, as a kid, you ain't had no privacy. My grandmother ain't play that. Like, what? No, oh, I have to be you in my space. Don't come in my room. My grandma did not play that. This is her house. She paid a cost to be the boss. So I do think that, but there is a balance. Like my daughter has her own room. She has her own cell phone. Now, because I paid the cell phone bill, I'm gonna go look through your phone. You only 12. What you got to hide? But I don't go through her stuff in her room just willy-nilly, like trying to be nosy, trying to find stuff. I have a good relationship with my daughter. And I think that if you have a decent relationship with your kids, you talk to them, you don't have to worry about trying to find stuff, right? So all of that snooping around in their room is not always necessary, but there comes a time and a place for that. So yeah, these are kind of the things that we see with toxic moms. I want to pull up an article I found on Psychology Today, because y'all know I like to show y'all some real stuff here, right? We some critical thinkers over here. I got some scholars. All of y'all are scholars in my chat. All right, so this is the article I found on Psychology Today. 8 toxic things mothers do. So quickly, I just want to show y'all. I'll give y'all the link in the description. So if you would like, you can go ahead. I'm just going to scroll down to the 8 things. So the first one is shaming and blaming. I know we done all experienced at some point, even if you don't necessarily consider your mom or whoever, whatever woman raised you as toxic. I'm going to be honest. We all display toxic traits. Okay. None of us are perfect. And it is actually a good thing to point out your imperfections, especially to your kids. I'm cutting up, while we're going over these, I'm going to cut up some ginger as well. So we have some fresh garlic. I cut up about 5 or 6, actually it was more than that, more like probably 8 or 9 cloves of garlic. I have about maybe an inch or so of ginger, and I'm going to mince that up as well, because again, we want to see all the flavor and integrate as much aromatics as possible into our sauce. So yeah, shaming and blaming. Shaming and blaming. The next thing we'll see, guilt tripping. You know what? One thing I will say about Black parents, they will guilt the hell out of your ass, okay? Your mama, your grandmother, whoever will make you feel like you are just the worst person in the world sometimes. Like, you doing all of this, and think about all the stuff I do for you. I provide this for you. Let me tell you something. There was a situation where I had to kind of have that talk with my daughter because she was being ungrateful. But like, let's keep in mind, if you're a parent, you're supposed to provide a household for your child. You're supposed to feed them. You're supposed to, make sure they got clothes on their back. Don't guilt trip them. They didn't ask to be here. And we get a lot of that, especially in our community, I'm gonna have to dig deep one day into the psychology behind that. Let's see what y'all talking about in the chat. Sheila says, I'm the youngest and I was left in Puerto Rico. Okay. With my aunt and godfather, in which I'm thankful I got to see what a 40-year marriage looks like. Girl, you are blessed. Because there are so many people. I was actually having a conversation today. One of my very good friends, I was commenting on people I know that grew up in two-parent households. And I actually have several friends whose parents are still married today. And I was talking about one of my college friends in particular. Her parents have been married for over 40 years. I think it's beautiful. I'm too old to wish for something like that, but I would have loved it. All right. Let's see what else Sheila got to say. But as I got older, my mom wanted me back, and I begged her to send me back to Puerto Rico. She was toxic as heck. Sorry to hear that. But at least she sent me back and didn't keep me around that environment. That's good. This is awful. A closet, yes, girl. A closet. Mona D can tell y'all, because she worked in the same field as I. It is ridiculous, the things that we see, and still happens. And y'all, I can't like say it's one population over the other, y'all. It's everybody. Toxicity exists amongst so many different types of people. It's very, very sad. Very sad. The humiliation is sad too. Yes, it is. I couldn't have handled that, mistreating the babies. You know, you do kind of build a certain, you kind of have to like compartmentalize that job and be able to like, this is the job, this is my job, I'm here to investigate. You can't get too emotionally invested. But I mean, it's hard. You got screaming kids in the backseat of your car because you done took them away from their mama or their daddy. Y'all, it's a lot. That you see, I'm not in that field anymore. So shout out to the people who are. I don't know if Mona's still working in that field, but shout out to you, Mona. Shout out to you. Facts, children are mirrors. Yes, they are, honey. And I see the good and bad in myself with my daughter every single day. Celeste, these wings are about to be so bomb. Yes, sis. Thank you, Smoke and Talk, for being in the building, even with you driving. That's okay. You can go ahead and watch from the clouds, as the people say. Yes, ain't no privacy. Ah, okay, y'all. Look, let me unshare the screen. Let me unshare the screen because I got to show y'all something. Something, something, something. Look who we got here. Real Bravado Network with the $40 cash app. He says, you are becoming my favorite creator. Love your topics. Thank you so much, Real Bravado Network. Oh, let me show y'all. Shout out to Real Bravado Network for his continued support of the channel. These are one of the things that I decided to purchase with his gracious donation. I got me a new pot to go with my, to be able to use on my induction cooktop that Craig gifted the channel. Oh, my house falling apart. Okay. So yes, I got a new pot. Shout out to Real Bravado Network for the donation. We improving around here. I am investing my donations back into the channel, into the kitchen. Private, what? Don't be trying to lock the door. Hello, ain't no privacy. The little time I spent with my mom, we slept in the car in the middle of the winter because my father had kicked us out when he was drunk. See, toxicity exists in all types of homes, y'all. It's not just any type of home, unfortunately. So this is what led me to beg my mom to send you back to Puerto Rico. Okay, yeah, girl, I would have asked to go back to Puerto Rico too. All right. So for our sauce, let me get back to the sauce. For our sauce, we already cut up our garlic and ginger. Now we got to make our little sauce. So y'all know we making Korean barbecue wings, right? In order to make that flavor, we are going to be using what the Koreans call gochujang. I might be butchering that, but y'all, I'm from East Cleveland. I'm not from Korea, okay? So this is gochujang. It is a red chili paste, a red Korean chili paste. I picked mine up from the from the Asian grocery store. Y'all know I love the Asian grocery store. This is what it looks like. This particular one, red pepper paste. They have some that's really, really spicy. I also have another brand here as well. This one I actually got from Fry's, which is the Arizona version of Kroger. So for our Korean barbecue wings, we are going to be starting off with some gochujang. Let me wipe off my tablespoon here. Shout out to Craig for the gift. So I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of gochujang because I want this flavor, honey. I'm probably going to end up making more sauce than I need for wings, but that's okay. We can make them very saucy. So about 2 tablespoons of gochujang. All right. Also, we're going to add in, no, not yet, about 1 tablespoon or a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. This is where we're going to be getting a lot of our sodium. The gochujang, it has sodium in it too. It does have sodium in it. So we're going to add in like about 1 tablespoon or so of soy sauce. If you do not eat soy, you can always use coconut aminos. I'll actually show y'all that. This is a soy substitute. Coconut liquid aminos. I actually have a few recipes that I use with that particularly. It tastes very similar to soy sauce and actually is less sodium than soy sauce. This particular soy sauce, I also got this at the Asian grocery store. It's lower sodium. So again, y'all know how I am. I don't want to eat too much sodium. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon and a half of soy sauce. I'm going to also use some rice wine vinegar. About a tablespoon of that. And then we're going to add in some chicken broth. I'm going to start with about 1/4 of a cup. And then if we need to add some more when we're making our sauce, we will. And then I'm just going to mix it up, kind of get the gochujang mixed up well in the liquids. All right. Get a fork. The gochujang, it is like a paste. So you will, this is why we're kind of doing this in a bowl before we put it into the pan to make our sauce. Because we're going to kind of cook the garlic a little bit, get all the flavors. We have some other ingredients we're making with this sauce. It's not like super heavy with ingredients. It's not that hard. It seems like it is, but it's really not. It's more so just throwing stuff in the pot, heating it up, and then tossing and saucing the. We are going to be using honey as a sweetener, and we're also going to be using a brown sugar substitute. I've used this as well over here. If you don't want to use brown sugar, I highly recommend using the Swerve brand of brown sugar. It is keto friendly, diabetic friendly, it's everybody friendly, okay? It's gluten free. It's a great substitute for sugar. All right. So let's go back to our article. Again, shout out to Real Bravado Network. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you so much. All right, number 3, 8 behaviors we see with toxic mamas. Playing the comparison game. We talked about that too. It's kind of weird how parents can pin kids against each other. It's very, very weird, but it is a very real thing. It's actually very common in all types of households, again, and not even so much of moms that I would like deem toxic. I feel like people do this in general with children. It's weird because you'll have one kid that's like, you know, the golden child, the one who seems to do everything right. And then we'll have moms like, why you can't be like this? And why you can't be like little Johnny or little Felicia or whoever? That's weird, in my opinion, because it kind of like puts resentment, makes the kids want to compete against each other and all type of stuff like that. Gaslighting is another behavior you tend to see with toxic moms. Marginalizing or mocking, that's just mean. Scapegoating, and then lastly, stonewalling. I'm going to put the link. I'm actually going to drop this in the chat right now so y'all can be able to look at this article because I think it took some good information. Let me pull up some comments. See what y'all saying in the chat. All right. Thank you so much, Sheila, for sharing your story. I appreciate when people come in and share their stories because it gives us a lot of perspective. It allows us to be able to kind of check ourselves and review our experiences, and especially topics like this, because a lot of us are parents or maybe be on our way to being parents. I think I got a little pregnant lady in the chat too. So, you know, you want to be conscious of this kind of stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes, but you definitely want to be conscious of that and aware, hearing other people's experiences. I know being a CPS worker, one of the things that it made me kind of very aware of things that I wasn't aware of prior to having my daughter and even prior to working in that field. Like, I just thought it was just regular stuff that parents did. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, this ain't right. Like, I got to be mindful. Like, I don't want to exhibit these types of behaviors to my daughter as well, and blase. All right, let me go ahead. We're going to start this sauce. Let me check on the air. Oh, these wings looking good, y'all. They looking good. They looking good. They looking good. All right, we're going to make our sauce really quickly. Pull this up. Thank you so much for dropping Real Bravado Network's link in the chat, Celeste. Appreciate you. Y'all make sure to check him out. He has some really good content. I love his content. So make sure you check him out. We're going to go ahead and make our sauce. Just a minute. My computer don't like me right now. All right, here we go. Oh, it's user error. It's not the computer. It's user error. Sorry, y'all. Oh, yes. I see somebody in the chat. Gotta acknowledge her, my sis. Messy Mashawn Live. Thank you so much, girl, for joining. Messy Mashawn is also a YouTube content creator here on YouTube. Like I just said, she's a part of the Lead Attorney Mastermind. Y'all make sure y'all check her out. She is hilarious. She has some great hot topics she be discussing over there. Oh, wait, did I see someone else? I missed someone. Yes, Wilbur is here. Thank you so much, Wilbur, for joining today. And then I got to stop the presses because my fave is here. Maggie, the substitute teacher, coming through to support. Thank you so much, Maggie. Y'all know I love Maggie. Make sure you check her out too. Amazing, wholesome content creator here on YouTube. She also cooks. She is sharing her health and wellness journey with us, cooking sugar-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. So check her out. Maggie's doing a lot of traveling right now, but I know she's going to be back in the kitchen real soon. So yes, if y'all could make sure if the mods could drop Maggie's link as well as Messy Mashawn's link so that we can get them some new subscribers. Derek has a question. Is the honey unfiltered? Is unfiltered honey better? Absolutely. So let me tell you, I am not a honey connoisseur, so I can't like give you the science behind it, but I always tell my clients and I always tell people, make sure you get raw, unfiltered honey. It doesn't have to be super expensive. If you can get it though, you can get local honey, it's better because as we know, food is big business in the United States, and a lot of this food, a lot of stuff they put in like all this other stuff, it's not real honey. So if it's in the little bear, 9 times out of 10, it's like fake honey. Sorry, y'all, but that's the truth. So get you some raw, unfiltered honey if you can. It is more expensive, but I get the Kroger brand, the Kroger organic brand, and it's actually not that bad. So, oh yes, honey. Unfiltered honey is sweet. All right, let's turn on our. Oh, okay. We're gonna turn on our. This thing heats up fast, y'all. It heats up so fast. All right, so while it's heating up, I'm gonna get started. Gonna put in some of the non-stick coconut oil, and I'm gonna add in my garlic and my ginger in here. And I just want to get that going, kind of saute that just nicely. Like I said, we want to see the flavor, okay? All right. So while we're cooking our sauce, because we almost done, this ain't even going to be that long. I hope it ain't going to be that long. This is going to be a quick live. Quick. So how do we prevent or stop being a toxic mom? Because it's one thing to kind of talk about toxic moms and you know, point out the traits of a toxic mom, but we don't want to keep on having that behavior transcend and like go through generations and generations. I'll offer my opinion or my experiences. I wouldn't say I was raised by a mother and a grandmother. I wouldn't say my mom or grandmother were toxic moms, but they had toxic traits. Let's just keep it real. Let's see. Real Bravado Network. I order my raw honey. I use it to sweeten my tea and oatmeal. It's very sweet. Yes, it is. And actually, it's better for you. It's actually a really good sweetening alternative as opposed to just using like regular sugar. A lot of people seem to think that like sugar is the devil. Natural sugars are usually pretty good depending on the person. Some people, they can't digest it very well, but if you are good with natural sugars, I say go all in. You want to use honey or you want to use natural sweetening substitutes. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the sauce that we mix with our gochujang, our chicken broth, as well as our soy sauce and rice wine. All right, let me turn this down a little bit. I don't want the sauce to burn. All right. All right. Then we're going to add in some brown sugar, just a few tablespoons of that. Actually, let me use this. Just add it right on top. I am using brown sugar Swerve. It is a brown sugar substitute. Go ahead and switch that around. I'm going to add in a little bit more chicken broth. I told y'all we're going to start with that little small amount. I think I started with about 1/4 of a cup, and I'm going to add in a little bit more. All right. Messy Mashawn. She said, can she just hire me and Maggie? Look, one day me and Maggie, we're going to connect and we're just going to be in the kitchen together. I feel that is coming in the near future. What you think, Maggie? What you think? One day we're going to connect and show the world you can cook healthy food and it still is going to be delicious. You know what? See, Messy, this is why Messy Mashawn is called Messy Mashawn. All right. Our wings are done in the air fryer. I'm going to show y'all just a hot second. Let me get a spoon and kind of taste this sauce. I'm going to add in our honey like towards the end. And I'm going to show y'all these wings because they look good. They're looking good. Always taste your food. Woo! Yes. Okay. So I need a tongue because I want to show y'all the wings. So we have our wings. Remember, we put baking powder on them so they have a little bit of a coating. Here, wait. I ain't even holding them right. Let me get one of the drums. This is better. Okay. Here's the wings. You see it got a little coating on it. Smells good. And we only season them with the green seasoning. What we use? Green seasoning, garlic, and onion powder because our sauce has plenty of sodium. All right. So I'm going to add in a little bit more of the chicken broth. And then I'm also going to add in a little bit more gochujang before I put in my honey. I just got a notification. Someone else is showing some support on that Cash App. And I'm going to shout them out in just a moment because I really, really appreciate all the support, y'all. Y'all just don't know. Shout out to Real Bravado Network. He is the stream sponsor thus far with his $40 Cash App donation. Real Bravado Network, I don't know if you saw, but the pan we are using today is thanks to your donation. So thank you so, so much for the support. All of the content creators know, like the support that you guys give us makes us keep going. All right. So Maggie, the substitute teacher with a $5 donation because I miss my own kitchen. And Messy Mashawn, she sent the Cash App donation of $5. TGIF, you make me hangry. Thank y'all so, so much. All right. So now I'm going to add in a little bit of, let me turn this down, a little bit of honey. And then we almost done with this sauce. All right. So a little bit of honey. You can eyeball it, about a tablespoon, a couple tablespoons actually. This is going to make them kind of sticky. And then just to add a little oomph to it, I'm going to put in a little bit of lime juice just to add a little citrus. That'll kind of help balance all the flavors out because we got some spicy, we got some sweet, you know. So the citrus is going to kind of balance everything out. So I'm going to let this kind of hang out for a few minutes while I pull up some chats. So yeah, y'all, toxic moms. Toxic moms. How can we prevent from being toxic moms? First of all, I think it's important to be self-aware. I'm chopping up some green onions here. This is going to be some garnish for our wings. Turn this down. Be self-aware. Like you got to know who you are. You got to know your good points, your bad points, and indifferent points. Your qualities. You got to know who you are, your background, what you experienced as a child, and be cognizant of that if you are having children, because you really don't want to kind of pass that type of behavior down through the generations. That goes into my next point. A lot of the stuff that we learned as kids, we don't realize how it affects us as adults. You really don't realize how you were parented, how that affects you until you become a parent, especially until you become a mom. So like the whole, like we talked about some of the behaviors, the over criticism, the yelling, the screaming constantly. Like I know for me, there are days I'm very honest with, well, not very, I'll take that back. I'm pretty honest with my daughter. And if I'm having a bad day, if I'm stressed out or whatever, I'll let her know, because I know me, I know my mood swings. I know how my mouth can be very sharp. So I have to be cognizant of that, and I have to be honest with her. And I remember what it was like as a child with a grandmother who didn't care what she said and how it affected you. She was going to say what she had to say, and that was it. So I know what that felt like, and I don't want my daughter to have that same type of feeling. So that's what I mean about like remembering your childhood, recognizing the learned behaviors that you saw, the model behaviors. You don't want to pass that down to your kids. And this leads me into my next thing. If you do find yourself exhibiting those same toxic behaviors, apologize to your kids. I done said that multiple times on the channel before. As older Black folks or older Black parents tend to they didn't say sorry. Okay. I don't remember ever hearing an apology as a child. And I'm not saying that I grew up in the most toxic household, and I'm also not saying I grew up in the most perfect household. I grew up in a Black household with Black old school parents, and y'all can just about imagine the types of things that were said and done, okay? But I never heard an apology. So that's one thing that I always try to implement with my daughter. I let her know, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I yelled at you for an unnecessary reason. I apologize. You are not the reason why I'm upset. You'd be surprised how big of a difference it makes. It brings that wall down. It allows your children to be actual, real vulnerable with you, and they can have empathy towards you. And it also allows them, and I've said this before, it also allows them to see what real accountability looks like. One of the reasons why we have so many people walking around, grown folks, big grown people walking around and not holding themselves accountable, is because they never really truly saw what accountability looks like. Because your parents, they'll do some off the wall ish and never recognize that it's wrong. Who do we have here? Kaya is in the building. Hello, my sis in chat. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, November Sun. Good afternoon to you. Yes, thank you so much for joining. I think you're new in the chat. Welcome to the show. Let's see. Miss Peach says, agreed. Parents have to be self-aware in order to avoid toxic behaviors and generational curses. Derek Gaines says, I know I didn't. Yeah, in terms of apologies, child, who, if you receive, I sound like an owl, who got apologies as kids? Because as far as I can see, most of us in this chat, we all are part of the same culture, the same race. Let me know if you got apologies. I didn't get apologies. Lauren says, I apologize to my kids. I didn't absolutely didn't get it. Just didn't get it. Thank you, Miss Michon. Good advice. Yes. All right. So, last thing on how to prevent it. This is just 4 little tips, because y'all know I like to give solutions. 4 little tips on how to prevent from like being a toxic mom is talking to your kids. Y'all, as a social worker, as somebody navigating through the world, as a sister, as a auntie, a mother myself, a daughter, a friend, I see so many people that literally just exist with their kids. They're not truly parenting. And one of the reasons why I know that this is the case is because folks don't even be knowing their kids for real. Like, what are your kid like? Not even just their likes and dislikes. What's going on at school? What are their friends? What are they talking about with their friends? What are their feelings? Like, my daughter, y'all, is 12, and y'all know that little preteen age. All her little girlfriends, every other day is back and forth. They get mad at each other and all that kind of stuff. If I was too consumed with what I'm doing here on YouTube, my business and all that kind of stuff, like, I wouldn't even know that half this stuff is going on, because, you know, kids are really good at kind of hiding things from their parents. And so, but I pick up on my daughter's mannerisms, her behaviors. Why? Because I make sure I engage as much as possible with her. She is, how hormonal preteens can be. So, like, they kind of start to push back from their parents and pull back, and they kind of make a heavy emphasis on their friends. So it's only so much you can do. However, I do think it's very important to just usher in those conversations. One of the things that we did on my daughter's birthday last month, we went out to dinner, and I made sure, I was like, put your phone down. I want you to put your phone down. We're just going to sit here and talk. Like, I just want to talk. I want to know about what's going on at school. I want to know what's going on with your parent or your friends. I believe that same week she had something going on with one of her friends. There was like some mess, drama in the friend chat, right? In the group chat. And I asked her about it. And I know there are people whose kids won't have those types of conversations because the parents never allowed that environment so the kids can feel comfortable with talking about what's going on. Talk to your children. Talk to them, y'all. You'd be surprised what you will find out. Mona is reminding everybody, please like the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And lastly, how do you stop dealing with, what if you got a toxic mama? You're an adult, you have a toxic mom. What do you do? What do you do? Y'all, this is hard. This is the hard part, because I can tell you, as a former social worker, no matter what your parents do, you're going to always love them. You're going to always want their approval and all of that. So it's really hard to do these things, to pull back when you find your parents are just too toxic to deal with. So the first thing you got to recognize is you can't feel guilty about distancing yourself from a toxic mama. You can't. Because if they truly don't mean you any well, what's the point in continuing to enable that behavior and allow them to treat you like you don't matter? So don't feel guilty about the fact that you have to distance yourself and you have to, put some real true boundaries. Don't feel guilty about that. We're going to add our wings to the sauce because it's time. All right. Y'all, look at these wings. Y'all don't know, I love eating chicken wings on Friday. I can't eat fried foods as much as I used to because my body says no. And then also, y'all know I like health. I like to make the healthier foods. So, we got to keep it cute. All right. I'm just going to put these wings in here, swish them around in the sauce. And then we're going to plate them. I was going to make a little, oh, yes. Y'all, no matter how much weight I lose, no matter how fit I am, I will always be a fat girl at heart. Your girl love to eat. This is why I knew if I was going to be on YouTube, it has to be centered around food because I like to eat. And these wings look amazing. Woo! Y'all, look at this. I'm going to put a little extra sauce on top too. All right. Oh, y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Y'all see this? Man. All right. We're going to talk about how to stop dealing with toxic mamas, and then I got to taste this. Y'all, this okay? Okay. So, okay. So, next thing, I'm going to turn this off. Next thing, seek therapy, period. There's really nothing else to say about it. If you truly did grow up in a toxic household with a toxic mama and even a toxic daddy, because daddies can be toxic too, but we talk about mamas today. It's very, very important that you recognize that and you really, really work on with a professional how to, heal and cope with that. Because you do not, under any circumstances, want to pass down that stuff to your kids, and they could potentially pass that down to your grandkids. You don't look, as Black folks, let's keep it real. We got enough trauma and hell we have to deal with being Black in the United States of America, okay? We want to be able to have our households as a place of peace and refuge for us all. The only way we can do that is having the healthiest household as possible. So before you become a parent, if you can, please make sure you deal with the traumas that you dealt with as a child, your toxic mama issues, your absentee father issues, or your father who might have been present physically, but mentally he was not there. So deal with that, please. Also, next thing you want to do, don't try to change your mom. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. There are things that I have kind of just tossed it to the game, charge it to the game. My mama is who she is, and that is fine. I can't change her. I just know what I have to do to deal with her if there are some things with her that I am still unsettled with. So you can't change your mom. Don't try to change your mom because it's going to create even more hell and chaos, okay? And then lastly, my last bit of advice, because y'all, I'm hungry. And I said this before, and I will continue to say it. Create and build your own villages. Adults, we need villages just as much as children. And people love to say, like, I don't need nobody, I got myself. No, you don't. We all need people. We all need somebody we can call on when we sad, when we happy, when we mad. I remember when recently I had some things go on, and like I thought of two different, it was two people I reached out to immediately when this particular event happened. And I was thinking to myself, what if I didn't have these people in my life? Like, who would I talk to? I know as an extrovert, I would be depressed if I didn't have somebody that I can continuously talk about. Granted, you don't want to unload on people, so always make sure you're conscious of what other people are going through. But at the same time, you need a village. You need friends. Friends can become family, because some of my closest friends are like sisters to me. And you need folks that, even if you don't necessarily want to talk to them about everything that's going on in your life, you still want to be able to have folks around you to cheer for you, to encourage you, to make sure that like you on your P's and Q's. We need villages as adults. So don't think just because you're grown, you don't need nobody. And especially if you dealt with a lot as a child, you especially need people, because they can show you differently. They can show you that love doesn't require chaos and hell. Okay? All right. So let me wash my hands. And then we are going to plate these wings, y'all. All righty. Yes, our Korean BBQ air fried wings. Let's see. Y'all, I'm so excited. Let's see who in the chat. Y'all saying the wings look amazing. Did you see my email address? You're hitting real close to home. No, I didn't. But you can definitely email me, terry@mysexyandstrong.com. It's on my website as well. It's on my Instagram. I believe it's on my who we got here. We got Mr. J. Sampson, the good bros. I got you. Thank you so much for joining. Shout out to the D9 in the chat. Mona, we need to have outside feedback so we can be held accountable. Absolutely. One of the good things about having like good girlfriends is they can check me and they can tell me like, Terry, now you know you wrong. You know you wrong for that. All right. I like, okay, I'm just gonna put them all on a plate. Personally, y'all, I like flats. I think I've told y'all that before. My daughter, she eats both pieces. I usually give her the drums because I'm like obsessed with the flats. So we're just gonna pile the wings on here. And I got some green onions and I even got some sesame seeds. These are optional if you don't want them, but it's just to add a little something extra, you know. Shout out to the Koreans for their recipe, for their gochujang and some great flavor. All right, we're gonna put all these wings on this plate, and me and my daughter are gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. All right, I want to add in a little of the sauce that I can get. Try not to scrape. Y'all remember I said use silicone and wooden spoons, and I'm not following my own advice, but I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to scratch this pot. Again, shout out to the Real Bravado Network for his continued support and donations. And because of his continued support and donations, I was able to purchase this beautiful new pot. Got a little gold handle, y'all. I love gold. So, all right, there we have some little green onions. I'm going to show y'all this in a minute. And a few little sesame seeds. These are optional, but this is just to make it cute. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay. All righty. Okay, y'all. Let me present to you our Korean BBQ air fried chicken wings. We use Korean gochujang for this, honey, brown sugar, brown sugar substitute. We got some soy sauce in here, garlic, ginger. It's lit, y'all. It is lit. Let me know what y'all think about our wings today. All right. Now we got to take a picture. I got to get a quick video and then I'm going to taste for y'all. Let y'all know how these taste. I done already had a few little licks of the sauce. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. All right. Let's turn this around. These look good. I was going to make a little sauce to dip them in, but I couldn't figure out what kind of sauce I wanted to make. So you can use any type of sauce. If you're a sauce person, you like to dip your wings in some type of condiment, go ahead and use some ranch, some blue cheese. We even made our own blue cheese one time here on the channel. So yes. All right. Let me go ahead and get a few pictures. Oh, y'all, this looks delicious. All right. Let's get a video. Yes. I'm so excited. All right. That's good enough because a girl is hungry. Let me make sure I have a paper towel here because these are going to be messy. They're kind of sticky. All right. Use a little dish rag as my. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the verdict? All right. Let me get this flat wing right here on the top. Look at there. You can see the garlic, the ginger. Oh my God. Listen. This is finger licking good. So it is a little spicy. Keep in mind, I added extra gochujang because I like the spice. If you want it less spicy, add more brown sugar, add more honey. But this is perfect for me, especially if you have like a ranch. This would be good with ranch. I prefer blue cheese, but this would be really good with ranch because I love like barbecue with ranch. Y'all, oh my God. I'm speechless. This is really, really good. Make sure you try the recipe. I will probably put this recipe on my website. I've bitten off more than I can chew with adding these recipes to my website. Also trying to keep up with my content creation. There's a lot going on. I'm trying to get monetized. So I'm doing a lot. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. It's a lot. But I want y'all to know you definitely have to try this recipe. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Sorry for smacking in your ear. Who we got here? Jason CLJ. He says, hello. Thank you so much for joining. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Kaya, I don't think I saw you earlier, so thanks so much, Kaya, for being here. She also says these wings look amazing. Thank you, girl. Honey, they are so good. Make sure y'all try this recipe. Y'all saw it was easy. It was real easy. Sheila says, make you want to lick the pot, girl. There's some sauce left. I might go ahead and dip my wing in there. I'll do that off camera. Y'all can't see how greedy I be. Matter of fact, hand me a spoon so I can scoop it up. Yes, girl. Let me get you one. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Derek says, yummy. Who we got? Yvette in the chat today. She says, yes, yes, girl. You definitely should try these out. Definitely try these out. They are so tasty, delicious. The sweetness, the spicy, it just works. Who else we got here? Shadrika Jenkins. Okay, come on, girl. Yes, come. Go ahead and make this recipe for your husband, okay? And thank you so much for joining, Shadrika. That's my home girl. Newlywed with a beautiful, beautiful family. Y'all, I love Black love. So I'm going to shout out all the people in the chat who marry and they doing their little Black family thing. I'm going to always shout y'all out because I love Black love. Miss Peach Love says, got to get back to the Asian grocery store. I'm so mad I got the wrong one. What'd you get? You're going to have to text me. All right. So y'all, today we talked about these toxic mamas. It is a topic, again, that most people don't want to talk about, but it's something that we need to discuss. And it's not a matter of trying to, gaslight people or make people feel bad. It's more so we want folks to just be better. You want to do better. So this is why I discussed what we can do to prevent from being toxic moms. And then also what we can do if you're dealing with a toxic mother. Being a mom is the most important job a woman can have. Okay. The most. I don't care what nobody say. Whether you became a mom by mistake or you were actively trying to become a mom, recognize that this is the most important thing you will ever do in your life. And you want to handle your precious cargo with the most amount of gentleness and care. So no, you're not going to be perfect. Yes, you're going to have some toxic traits here and there. You're going to yell, you're going to scream, you're going to cuss, you're going to holler. You might even beat their ass a few times, okay? And sometimes they need it. But you also want to be able to make sure you're ushering in those healthy relationships for your children, because this is where we learn about relationships at home. One of the reasons why we have this huge gender war is because folks didn't learn the proper way to have healthy relationships at home. They didn't learn conflict resolution. They didn't learn how to hold themselves accountable. They didn't learn how to show love. They didn't learn how to receive it either. So please be mindful of the things that you're saying and doing and how you're treating your children. I can tell you right now, most of the people, I don't know of the real statistic, but I'm a guesstimate. Probably about 95% of the people who are in therapy now are in therapy because of shit that happened when they was kids. Let's think on that, all right? So this is all I got. I'm going to a happy hour with some s'mores a little bit later, so I got to get ready for that. I hope y'all enjoyed our tutorial, our recipe for our Korean barbecue chicken wings. I am going to definitely put this up on the website because this was a real easy and quick recipe. I will be back live on Sunday afternoon. So please keep an eye out on that. We usually do brunch and I have mimosas on Sunday. So come check me out. Thank you so much for everyone. Ooh, I got to show y'all this comment. Make sure I pull it up. Tarina says she did chicken thighs and they are delicious. Thank you, Tarina. Tarina's one of my sorors. She saw the announcement that I was going to be making these wings and she texted me and was like, what do I need? Because I want to make my wings. So she made them. She said they're delicious. I'm so glad you followed along. Let me know if y'all want to do like a follow along cooking situation one day. If y'all do, I'll set that up and I'll make sure I put everything out online a couple days before so you can get all your ingredients and we can all cook together. And if you want to, if you feeling a little adventurous, set your camera up and I'll invite you on. Okay, we can have somebody on cooking next to me. All right, we're gonna have fun. All right, y'all. Thanks again so much for joining. Thank you so much for the support. Shout out to Real Bravado Network for his $40 Cash App and Messy Mashawn and Maggie for their $5 Cash App donations. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you check out my other videos, y'all. I'm trying to get monetized, so I need as many watch hours as possible. Again, thank you so much for joining. I will see y'all on Sunday. Goodbye. I'll hang out in the chat too. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll hang out in the chat for a few minutes and we can talk. Y'all have a good Friday.